When I used to go out and do the live shows, we used to try to give people something a little bit different, and one of those things was table tilting. Some people call it table rapping, but that's more really to do with when you have a seance or something of that sort of nature. But this is different. We're going to show you some real footage, and we're going to start with a really simple one. This was recorded about 12 years ago. As you can see, the table is moving a little bit. There are 5 people with their hands on it. Well, 3 at the moment, looking at that image. But once the 4th person goes on, for some reason the table starts to rock a little bit more. So we have to be careful when we do this that people aren't pushing the tables. And we watch very, very closely to make sure that nobody is cheating. It's an easy thing to cheat with if you know what to look for. And having done this for 40 years, I do know when somebody is not playing, call it playing the game, but you know what I mean. If they're cheating, then I like to know straight away and just get them off the table. And I can spot them a mile off. So, that's a small table tilt. That's a real piece of footage. We can change things now and turn the heat up a little bit. So this is not for the faint of heart. This is some table tilting of the extreme. As you can see here at another show, we have a table that is absolutely going bonkers. And the sound that it makes, it's really loud. It's not just a case of it clicking over. It actually bangs itself over, so it makes quite a good thump when it does. Also, you probably notice that the table is twisting as well, and as it twists and pulls itself along, it's as if it's trying to get out of the hands of the people that have it, or trying to get them to travel across the floor to another part of the room. It might even be somebody in spirit trying to talk to somebody in the room and going towards that person where they want to be. Now, one of the things I will say, you really do have to know what you're doing when you do table tilting. It's not something for the faint of heart, and it's not something that you should take with a pinch of salt either, because it is dangerous. And it's dangerous for a few reasons. One, because our minds alone can play tricks on us, and people can get drawn into it, so you have to make sure that everybody that is having a go of this is definitely of a sound mind and not drunk. That's one of the most important things, and that they've not suffering from any emotional or mental illnesses of any kind. Obviously that's very, very hard to tell when you're doing a show, but you make a judgment. You can tell sort of some people that are sort of able to step forward and do this, and some people who you would definitely not put on a table to even attempt anything like you're seeing right now. This table I've had for many years. It's been in the family since the 1940s, and I like to use it because it's got 4 really sturdy legs on it, and it's got quite a weight to it as well because it's all oak, so it doesn't move that easy as it looks there. You know, if you just try to push it and move it around, it doesn't move easy at all. It certainly doesn't revolve like you've seen on a few times, like you just saw there, where the table's actually trying to pull itself around. It's interesting to watch because, as you can see, things do happen and do go wrong. It's very interesting to watch because it's one of those things where until you see it and experience it, you don't believe it. It's easy to see people on the TV doing examples of it as tricks, but when you see the real thing, it's very different to the tricks that you see, or the parlour tricks, if you call it, that other people do. But is the devil involved in this? Well, let's have a think about that. What is the devil? If you believe in God and you're a firm believer in the Bible, then you have to believe in the devil. However, if you believe that we live in an unconditional world, the devil is something that could just be within each and every one of us. I like to think of it as objective, very objective to the person, to the individual. When we do this, it's very much like having an open channel. So we put cloaks of protection. We also make sure that the table itself is cleansed. We do that with crystals and also with prayers. We also make sure that that cloak of protection is put around each and every person that gets involved. And again, we sort of ring fence the whole thing in with prayers and with affirmations to try and help us. We ask our guides to draw close, and anyone in spirit that wishes to draw close, we try to call them through the love and light. Now, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you do get people that come through, or shall we say demons even that come through, that can affect the table. However, we do cleanse everything after, and we do check that every person before they leave is grounded and has no issues or problems before they leave. Now, when you hear of Ouija boards, for instance, and we will do something on Ouija boards at a later date, you think, well, with a Ouija board, it's pointing at certain numbers, letters, or yeses and nos. Well, table tilting is exactly the same thing, just done it in a different way. You are calling spirit to draw close, and when you're calling that spirit to draw close, you are asking it very much to move things around and move the table, etc. The most basic example of this would be if you use something along the lines of a dowsing rod or something like that. That's about the most basic version, I'd say. And I had to think of that for a second because I'm watching this myself as I'm recording it, and we put the footage together last night. And some of this footage I haven't seen for many, many years myself. You can see that the table's absolutely stopped there, and this happens sometimes as well, where the table goes flat and the energy starts building up again within the table. It might be because somebody's left and somebody new is coming into the table. So it might be whatever spirit was there has gone and another spirit is coming through. And then what can happen, as you can see, the people around the table at the moment are trying to work out what's gone wrong. And nothing's gone wrong. It's just literally in a period of time where the energies are changing. And here we go again. You can see it beginning to move very slowly. You've got to watch carefully to make sure nobody's pushing it. And sometimes you look and you think, are they? But when you're there, you can see it's not. It's very difficult to record and show that. But the fingers are so light on that table that it would take at least two of them to make it move in any one direction, and they'd have to work together. We tried to put 4 or 5 people on a table at a time, and that sounds a bit crowded, especially on a small table, but the reason for that is it's harder then for anybody to try and pull or to move the table. Well, that wobbling that it's doing at the moment, sometimes it gets faster and faster, and here we go, suddenly it takes off. You can see it just pulling around, and now it's beginning to bang, and now it's trying to turn. And the thing is, you can ask questions of things with the table when it tilts, because when it calms down a little bit, you can ask it yeses and nos, and then it'll move in certain directions for a yes and certain ways for a no, or 2 knocks for yes, 1 knock for no, and it will do it. I enjoy doing this. There's me, by the way. I'm the one who's just got in the way of the camera, as usual. And we do sort of enjoy, and I do enjoy doing this. And the reason I enjoy it is because it gives people an experience that is not just is physical, rather than just an emotional. When you're doing these shows and you're talking to people and you're giving them spiritual messages, that's one thing. But for them to see something happening is something completely different. It helps them to affirm that something is going on. Thank you for watching. Now, as I like to say, don't have nightmares. See you next time. just like to say thank you to Pexels for some of the clips that you saw in between the videos there. Pexels.com is a great place to get videos and footage for anything that you make. Thank you very much. Bye for now.